Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I propose we wait a few more minutes before we start this webinar. So in the meantime, please make sure you get yourself a good cup of coffee and make sure you also have your smartphone with you. Okay, I think we can start now. So welcome everyone to this second webinar of the Cloud Solution Coffee Club series. So today we will focus on Boomi, as you can see on the cup and the image I'm sharing. So I will first maybe introduce myself. So I'm François Ecker, I'm General Manager of ASP. I will be hosting this meeting, but as you will see, most of the presentation will be given by my colleagues from the team of Boomi. So in order to get to know each other a bit better and to get acquainted with each other, we propose we start with a small Slido, which will basically ask you a couple of questions to learn a bit who the audience is today and help us in adapting our messaging. Of course, this is all confidential, so no worries about sharing your opinions or sharing anything about yourself. So please, this is know that you will need your phone, so be sure that you have your phone together with you. And then I will then ask you to use your phone to scan the QR code that you see on the screen. Okay, so the first question for today, to learn a bit more about you and to test the system also is, we'd like to know how you like your coffee. So please vote, black, with sugar, with milk, with sugar and milk, or if you prefer to drink tea. This is just a test, I mean, no stress about question. Okay, so we have nobody with sugar and milk in the audience. Black coffee and tea seems to be the preferred options. Okay, so now that you understand how the system works, I guess we can move to the next question. I would like to know a bit more about yourself. What is your role? So are you a manager, basically IT manager? Are you an IT professional? So are you working in IT, or are you more active in the sales area or other? So we'd like to know a bit who we are talking to today. Okay, so we're mainly talking to IT people who like to drink black coffee. That's already a lot of information we have on you. Now the last one is a bit more personal, now that we know each other very well. We would like to understand and to know if you are facing today an integration challenge. This is of course what we'll be mainly talking about today, talking about Boomi. So we'd like to understand if you have such an issue today, and if yes, which tools are included, or which tools you're trying to connect to each other. Okay, good. So we have an SAP integration question. Interesting. That's indeed one of the platforms that can be connected. ServiceNow. So that will be demoed today. Okay, multiple including ServiceNow. All right, ServiceNow SAP. Okay, interesting. So, okay, that's good info. So I think we will answer your questions in the presentations today, because of course ServiceNow will obviously be one of the topics we will be covering today. So now that we have learned about you, I will maybe tell you a bit more about ourselves. So I'll just go back to my presentation. So thank you all for taking part of this this Slido. It was very interesting to know that we have a crowd of IT specialists drinking black coffee and having integration issues. So you are at the right place with this presentation. So who are we? So at ASP, we are a visionary IT super. We are working with many different partners, as you will see. Also later in the presentation. We were established in '95 in Brussels, so we are 25 years old, so we know our IT very well. We are around 40 people active in our office from Brussels. And then of course, we are not only partnering with the tools that we'll be covering today, which is Boomi, but we're also having partnerships with hardware providers like Dell EMC, that of course you know, data availability specialists, like VMware, but also safety and security specialists like Checkpoint. And so by having all of those solutions at hand, we are suitable to build, manage, secure, and optimize your IT. So today we'll be focusing on the optimized part of our offering, but of course, if you have any question on the other part of our offering or the products that we are working or partners we are working with, please drop me an email and I will be more than happy to discuss with you. So now we will go in the topic of today, and I will introduce the next speakers. So the agenda, we have 2 topics today. So first one is the introduction to Boomi, that will be given by my colleague Kristiaan from the Boomi Benelux team. And then we'll have, as I said, a live demo of Boomi and ServiceNow. And this one will be given by my colleague Robert. So now I will give the floor to Kristiaan. So Kristiaan, they're all yours.
Thank you very much, Francois, for this introduction. I will share my screen. All right, so hello, everybody. I am Kristiaan Janssens, and I'm working for Boomi. I'm responsible for the Belgium and Luxembourg market. I started as first sales on the ground in Belgium end of last year, so a little bit more than 1 year now, active for Belgium and Luxembourg. You will get these slides after the presentation, so you will have my email address as well. Boomi is 100% daughter of Dell Technologies. So we are part of the Dell Technologies business group, but we are pretty independent. So we are independent, but we are part of the overall Dell Technologies business group. So that's the reason why we have a Dell.com email address. So today I'm going to quickly explain what Boomi is, and then my colleague Robert will show it to you via a demo. So an iPaaS, you can see an iPaaS, an integrated platform as a service, as a kind of a cornerstone of any digitalization journey. So with an iPaaS, you can easily exchange data from one application to another application. We see currently within many of our customers that they have lots of applications, too many applications, and that the business is asking for more and more additional digital functionality. You can use the data you already have in your current applications to exchange those data and to provide additional functionality, digital functionality towards your customers without a need to deploy any other application. So that's really one of the powerful items of an iPaaS. Normally an iPaaS, it's a kind of a successor as well for what we call enterprise systems bus, middleware, which is very commonly used in on-premise environments, but those solutions are really not ready for the future. If we talk to the business within Boomi, we focus on 4 specific tracks. So we focus on the connection track, on the modernization track, transformation track, and innovation track. And you see each time that we have added the word accelerated. So what do we mean with the word accelerated? We mean that we are able to achieve business results far more quicker than companies used to realize those business benefits. So this is really a unique differentiator from Boomi, that we can allow business to give them additional functionality far more quicker than they used to have today. If we look into each of those tracks separately, the connection track is a track where we just connect 2 or more applications, and it's often used when customers are deploying, for instance, a new application. If they are going, if they decide for a new application to be deployed, that application needs integration, data exchange with many other applications the customer already has. So herefore we use the connection track within the Boomi solution. It's often used for merger and acquisitions. When 2 companies come together, they have each their own range of applications, and those applications must be integrated as fast as possible. So this is the connection track. The modernization track, in fact, is where we help customers in their journey to the cloud. So if they are going to implement or install cloud-based applications, those applications must integrate with existing on-premise applications. And the current technology, which has been optimized for on-prem to on-prem application, does not, most of the time, does not allow for swift integration of a SaaS application. And therefore, within Boomi, you will see later on that the same technology can be used for on-prem to on-prem integration, or on-prem to cloud integration, or cloud to cloud integration. So the same technology can be used in here. In the transformation track, if companies are going to exchange data from one application to another, they do this with a certain purpose, and the purpose is most of the time a digitalization of a business process. And within Boomi, because we are able to integrate those applications and to exchange the data, we can build on top of that an application as a kind of a workflow. So Boomi is part of an iPaaS, is a low-code platform, and Boomi offers this possibility as well. So you can start developing applications on top of the Boomi platform to digitalize a certain business process by using data from different applications. And finally, innovation is a track which speaks for itself. If you are able to use all the data that you have in your different applications, and if you make a correlation between those data, then you can offer so many more applications functionality to your customers. And with Boomi, because we are able to integrate, to exchange those data, we can offer you that service of innovation. Of course, you have to come with your innovation yourself, but Boomi can support that digital journey as well. So those are the four tracks we use within Boomi if we talk to the business. So where are we today with Boomi? We are a company pretty young. We are about 11, 12 years on the market, but we already have more than 12,000 customers worldwide, and we are growing approximately with 6 customers today. We have about 25,000 certifications, and we have a big community of 75,000 people to share experience, etc. If we look into the Gartner Magical Quadrant, Boomi is located in the upper right corner for the 7th year in a row. So this is the quadrant of August 2020, and Boomi, if we compare with the quadrant of 2019, we even moved a little bit higher on the ability to execute, and we moved a little bit to the right in the completeness of vision. So Boomi is still one of the most important players in the iPaaS world. So what do we offer? So what is the solution of Boomi? What do we bring to the market? Of course, the main part of our solution is the integration. So it all started 11, 12 years ago by offering integration capabilities out of the cloud for companies to integrate their applications, whether they are on-premise or in the cloud or whatever. And we started doing that by offering that solution out of the cloud. And how we do that, you will see in the last slide how we will do that. So this is the most important aspect from Boomi. It is the integration aspect. Of course, Boomi is getting more and more customers, and customers are asking more additional functionality. And so Boomi developed additional capabilities on top of the current integration platform. The first one I would like to present is the Master Data Hub, and the Master Data Hub is a kind of a master data management solution. So because we are able to exchange data between applications, we can keep a kind of a single source of truth, or a kind of a golden record telling this is the real data. Many customers do have information about our customers in 10, 20 databases. So if a customer changes the address, you have to update all those databases, and most likely not everybody knows in how many databases that information is stored. If you work with a master data management solution like Boomi has, you can say, here we have the single source of truth, and all the applications that are using that information can integrate with the master data management solution and always have the latest and correct information of that request. So this is the master data management solution. Companies would like to integrate with applications from other companies, and therefore we have the B2B management module. Integration today does not only happen via the basic integration connector part as Boomi uses, but uses a lot of APIs as well. And therefore, Boomi started as one of the first modules they developed with the API management module. So this is a very major and professional module on top of our platform to allow customers to go for a hybrid solution when they go starting integration between their applications. So with Boomi, they can both use the integration connectors, the main part of our solution, and they can perfectly work with APIs because we offer API management as well. And finally, Boomi, as already said in the previous slide, Boomi is a low-code platform. So if you're going to integrate applications and exchange data from one application to the other or many other applications, you want to digitalize a certain business process. And with the low-code platform, which Boomi has, you can start building this application, in fact. So you can build an application, even an enterprise application, to digitalize a business process. And this is what we call the module flow. So this is a general overview of the functionalities, of the capabilities of the Boomi Atomsphere platform. So what are the 5 essential characteristics of a true enterprise-grade iPaaS platform? So those are cloud native. So as already stated, Boomi has started 11, 12 years ago from scratch, built in the cloud to offer the agility and the flexibility of a cloud solution. So it's not a solution which was built on premise and then tweaked and tuned to run into the cloud. No, Boomi has been built from scratch to act as a cloud native solution. It has to be open. Many of our competitors are part of a bigger landscape. They are part of another software vendor. Boomi is open. We are not tied to any technology. We don't have any vendor lock-in. Finally, low code, as I said, Boomi offers a low code platform, and unified, which means you can build components and they can run everywhere where they want. Finally, and then I will hand over to my colleague Robert. He will explain this more in detail during the demo. So every customer connects to the Boomi Atomsphere platform. And in the platform, you build, you manage, and you deploy the integrations. So if this is a customer on premise, and here you have the firewall, you build an integration, and an integration is called within Boomi an Atom. This is the runtime engine, and this Atom, this runtime engine, will exchange data between SAP on-premise and Oracle on-premise. Now with customers, and only metadata is exchanged between the Boomi Atomsphere platform. So no customer data is leaving the customer data center. Customers are moving to the cloud, so they are going to deploy ServiceNow or any other SaaS solution. So the same Atom can perfectly integrate data from on-premise to cloud. And if you go further, many customers are deploying applications on Amazon or Azure or Google Cloud. And the Atom, which runs here, exactly the same Atom can run on any of those public or private platforms. Or we can run it for you in a shared platform or in a dedicated platform. And as stated, only metadata is exchanged between the Boomi Atomsphere platform and the customer. So this is an overall picture of the architecture of Boomi, and I will hand over now the word to Robert to give you a demo of how it works with an example of integration of ServiceNow. So Robert, you can take over if you want.
thank you, Chris. Now I'm going to continue with a part that has a bit of a demo. So we just saw this this screen from Chris, and we're going to focus now on a SaaS to SaaS integration process that is just working in the cloud. So all the applications are in the cloud, and also the runtime environment what we're using from the Boomi platform is in the cloud, and the development area where I created the process for this integration is also in the cloud. So no hardware on premise, no machines, no processes, everything is running in the cloud. To give you a bit of an example, what we're going to do in the demo, I have two applications, the Salesforce and the ServiceNow application, and I'm having a process in between that integrates or synchronizes basically the data between those two applications. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new case in Salesforce, and that will be then automatically transferred to ServiceNow, and there will be a new case created in ServiceNow. If the contact person that is created in Salesforce is not present in ServiceNow, that person will be created as well, together with the case. Now, if I activate the case in ServiceNow and assign somebody to it, then those case details will be sent back to Salesforce with that information. So users of both applications don't have to go somewhere else to read the information about that case. So if we now go to my screen where all the real work happens. So this is Salesforce. There is no case yet here that we're gonna look at. I have ServiceNow open, so there is no case. These were the last one we were yesterday, and we're gonna now create a case in Salesforce. So I'm gonna take a new case. I'm gonna look up a contact person that I want to use. Robert Downer Jr. is nowadays working in the IT business. So I'm creating a new one, came in by phone, priority, doesn't really matter of course, but it's high. The case reason, something is wrong, and the type is a problem. Just very standard fields here, and here in the top you see a field ServiceNow incident number that is empty of course, because I'm just in Salesforce, and I'm creating a something went wrong. Just a short description about the case, and that's basically it. I don't have to provide any more details. I click save, and this case is now created. Now, if I'm looking in the chatter section, for instance, of this case, there's nothing there. There's no ServiceNow incident number yet. I'm going now to the Boomi platform to show you which process should be running automatically. So that is activated by a Salesforce trigger. We can pick up the information from Salesforce, and that information is then transferred to ServiceNow. The process I'm running here is the exact process that will automatically be executed, but I'm going to do that manually now so we can see the steps that it's going through. I'm just going to execute this process on a test cloud that we have, for instance, the German one, and I'm just executing this process. Now, from the Boomi Atomsphere environment, there is a signal now set ready for a Atom in runtime in the German cloud to pick up this process and execute it. Now, you see during this execution all green halos around the steps in the process, and that means all those steps are successfully done. So now the test execution has been finished, and if you look in a bit in more detail, what it exactly has done is it picked up information from Salesforce, then it validated some steps. So try the email need to be filled in or not. You show the user if that is present or not in ServiceNow. If it's not, then we go create a ServiceNow user. Then we continue back to the main process. We're gonna remap or reshape basically the information that came out of Salesforce in an understandable format for ServiceNow. Then we're gonna send that information to ServiceNow through one of our standard connectors. So you see the icons as well in these shapes for Salesforce and ServiceNow. They are dedicated connectors for those applications. When the information is stored in ServiceNow, then the return values to Salesforce are the SalesforceNow case number, and the chatter in Salesforce will be updated as well. So now if we go back to Salesforce and just refresh this page, Then we see that the case has been logged in ServiceNow. The incident number is reported. We also see here in the bottom the ServiceNow details standing. And if we now step over to ServiceNow as well, and refresh this list of active cases, then we see here on the top the case number in there. And we open up the case itself. Then we see the details here. Now if I click on the caller, the person who has signed it, we see that that person is created as well within the ServiceNow environment. And the information of the case is provided here as a short description. Now to communicate this information back, it's already done, at least on the case number, but now if this case is taken up by somebody, it is activated and we will assign somebody to it. So let me see who I'm going to take. Somebody to pick it up. I update the ServiceNow case, so now that information is logged and this case is active. Now again, normally we would have an automatically trigger at the background that picks up this change in ServiceNow and send that information to Salesforce. But I'm going to show you the process itself, and I'm going to execute it manually now. Same way, we pick up the information from ServiceNow with the connector, which is normally then listening, and then information is transferred into Salesforce as a case comment. So we will see as soon as we run this process. And let's see, I don't have to take the German, I can also take another environment, so the test Atom Cloud, for instance, and run that one. And again, it takes a while because the notification from the platform to the Atom to execute this process takes a couple of seconds to do. And then the information is collected from ServiceNow and then sent onwards, remapping the data, and then send it to Salesforce. So now that is done as well. So if we look in Salesforce, refresh this screen again. So now we see here at the bottom, we see the information that this case in ServiceNow is activated and the assignee person is there as well. So in this way, it's very easy to use a Boomi integration platform to communicate information between different applications. Currently, these are SaaS solutions, but we also can have on-premise solutions by using the same principle where data is transferred from an on-premise environment to cloud or any other type of hybrid solution that you are thinking of. Now, if we look at the Boomi integration platform as a whole, we give a lot of capabilities of file sharing, of database information, or different types of authentication that are required. Every organization have different authentication systems. We all can adapt to them. We can provide web services to transfer data, and basically whatever service you can think of, we can embed it in the Boomi platform, because we are basically application agnostic. We don't really mind what type of application you have. We can connect to it if it is with our standard connectors, which we have a couple of hundreds of, so very dedicated application connectors. Or we have technology connectors that are more focusing on standard technology as HTTP or FTP and connections like that. Or we have event connectors that are more listening to the event architectural setup that nowadays gets more popular, where people listen to events and then act on it. So with the use of message queuing systems globally, you can communicate with any type of application over the Boomi platform with your data. As said, all our functionalities are in a unified platform, so you have only one interface, one time to train you, which is basically free as well, but you don't have to look in other types of application. Everything is in one user interface. Cloud native from the ground up, so nothing is on-premise. We are capable of running in a hybrid and multi-cloud environments. Low code, so hardly no coding is required. We allow code in our processes, but most of the time you don't need it. And we have a very active community and very active partners like ASP in Belgium, which we support a lot, and we get a lot of from them back as well. So I give the word back to Francois, and he will take it over from me again.
Sorry, just go back to the right slide. So thank you, Chris and Robert, for this those information, of course, on Boomi. I hope it was interesting for the audience. Now we'll move to the Q&A. So the best probably is that you ask the question in the chat window. So maybe we can do that already now, and in the meantime, I can conclude about this talk, and then we can reply to your questions. So in conclusion of today, I think what we can say is that you could see that by using Boomi, you can easily integrate all your applications and platforms. So we gave a demo today of Salesforce and Boomi, but you could understand, I guess, from presentations of my colleague that you could be integrating with any other platform. And then you can also understand that you can have some local support with our colleagues from Boomi. So obviously Robert, as you can understand, is supporting us in the region, but also from our direct team. And then of course, if you have any further question, you can always send us an email. But maybe I can start with the first question for Robert. So when we did the questionnaire in the beginning, it was clear that people had questions about SAP integration. So is this maybe something, Robert, you could comment on, and you could give us more information on?
Yeah, sure. We have, of course, SAP is one very big player in the world, in the ERP world, and we have also standard connection for SAP in different versions and different variations. So as well as a current new solution which we created to make it even easier to connect with SAP, where you don't even need any code. As a package solution, but yeah, so standard out of the box, you have a couple of different types of SAP connections that you can use. Any more questions?
I don't see any questions on the chat, but I'm not sure. Did you see any question, Robert, in the chat for you?
No, I don't see anything.
Okay, so if you don't have any further question, I guess we can then close here. So please, if you have any further questions, send us an email. So you have our email there, solutions@asp.be. It could be related, of course, to Boomi, but also another question. And then be sure to stay tuned. We have our next webinar from the Cloud Solutions Coffee Club coming on. So it's on November 26th, and it will be this time focusing more on our Dynatrace solution. So if there are no further questions, I will leave you here. Thank you very much for attending this webinar, and looking forward to seeing you on November 26th. Bye-bye.